Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the future of the water and the wastewater industry and the careers you didn't know about. And this podcast is in honor of a stalwart man of the water industry, Mr. Guy Russo, who is passed away this past week, and he was the water and sewer director of the Middletown Water and Sewer Department. And with us in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, is another old friend, Mr. Vincent Susco, who is retired water and sewer director for the town of East Hampton. Hi, Vin. How you doing?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Tom.
Yeah, just turn the mic just a little bit that way. There you go. Excellent, excellent. You know, I think both you and I were at the funeral and so forth, and Guy was a man of a lot of honor and integrity, and it was he meant a lot to the water industry. So, and I know you have some great stories. I mean, you could have wrote these as eulogies, my God. So, tell us how you got to first know Guy.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the world around Guy was so much better with him in it. His passing has left a void that may never be filled. My relationship started, as so many did, when I met Guy through the water industry. We worked together on numerous issues for over 20 years. We used each other as a sounding board to further our causes, and we just became strong allies of one another. His retirement, which was a mere 3 years ago, and his retirement, during his retirement, our relationships really grew, and our conversations moved to more important topics, such as food, the Italian language,
there we go,
music, life, and of course golf.
Yeah, don't forget golf.
Don't forget golf. It was our golf trips to Myrtle Beach and the many rounds of golf we played together that cemented our relationship and our friendship. He loved the camaraderie. It made him smile more than a shot he took. And he didn't take too many good ones. And of course, the meals our groups had together. Guy was one of the founding fathers of the fish fry on Good Friday, the Seven Fishes Feast. And we would meet religiously on Good Friday for that feast at the Cantina restaurant. And of course, those meals our group had together, Guy made them more enjoyable.
Yes.
Just having him, just being there, just seeing him there was great.
Yes.
He did a great job. To his friends, he was Mr. Positive. He was always willing to help in any situation, always ready to share his knowledge, share a joke, make a comment, and always ready to burst out the Yukon Fight song. Yeah. Every verse.
There you go.
Every verse.
And he knew it, too.
Yes, he did. He did.
My gosh.
So he's going to be missed. He was the best, always giving, seldom taking. My world was a better place with him in it, and I'll miss him terribly, but I will always be grateful that I had him in my life as a friend and a good friend.
Very nice. Very nice. You know, so, I think I got involved with Guy many times. As you know, I worked for the town of Portland with the water department for 50 years, and Guy was a source of information, of tutelage, any advice and so forth. I always called on a Guy, and he was never shy about helping and sharing, and sharing his resources and his knowledge. Later on, I had been involved both with the scholarship committee for CWWA, and Guy was the chairman of that scholarship committee, and he was the MC all the time at the Yellow Legislative Office building, and so forth. And he would always, it was amazing. He represented the industry, he represented himself, and he represented, all of the good people of the industry. And you know as well as I do, Vinny, the water industry is a close-knit community, and we all work together, and it's the common cause, and he will be missed. I know his daughter gave a tremendous eulogy about, Guy's life and his family, and what he meant to, and it was very moving as far as that goes. But he really was a great guy, and I think you summed it up tremendously. He was positive, and he's going to be missed.
Got shoes that'll probably never get filled.
For
Really?
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, and I think, it's amazing, when you say the cantina, that was a hangout.
For a lot of us, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't beat the food over there, my God.
My goodness, and you always went home with some of it.
Yes, you could never finish it. My God, it was unbelievable. That little hole in the wall down below the Sons of Italy,
Yeah.
And for years, I mean, the Sons of Italy Hall, I mean, I played in bands for years, and I don't know, I've done hundreds of weddings over at the Sons of Italy Hall and so forth. And you always had the cantina down below. Unbelievable. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
So
just maybe one or two quick stories about Guy. He was a perfectionist, and he took that with him to the golf course every day.
yeah.
He understood that some of his shots were not too good, some of his shots were not too bad, but he had a love-hate relationship with his driver. We were in a tournament in Rhode Island together, and about the fourth hole, he looked at me and I looked at him, and I says, "You got to stop taking the driver out of your bag because you're going to kill somebody." I said, "That's how it's going today." Well, he refused in true form. He refused. He kept swinging it. We made the turn, and everybody had an opportunity to get a little drink, a little libation. I took his driver. I took it out of his bag, and I gave it to one of my friends there. I says, "Look, you just hide this until the end of the round. He can't swing this anymore." So he gets up to the 10th hole, and he looks in his bag, and "Where's my driver?" I says, "What do you mean, where's your driver?" I says, "No, everybody loses a club when they put down a club next to the putting green. No one loses their club when they're going to a tee. Come on, Guy, what are you doing, fooling around? Somebody stole my driver." And I looked at him. I says, "There's no one on this good green's earth that would have ever taken your driver. There's no more good shots left in it. We took it away from you."
Well, it's funny when you say driver. I'm a tournament golfer. I play in maybe 3 or 4 tournaments a year and so forth, and I could never hit a driver. I leave the driver home. I swing my 3-wood. That's it.
There you go. There you go.
That works for me. At least, I don't hit it as far, but at least most of the time it goes somewhere where I want it to.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
For sure. So
the other story. Many of us know Kathy Fortin.
Oh, absolutely. We just got off the phone.
We just got off the phone with her. And she was gracious enough to allow me to tell you this story. Our annual meeting this year was, that year was Goat Island, the Sheraton in Newport, Rhode Island.
Yep.
Okay. You always arrived on a Wednesday morning because Wednesday afternoon, and you had to go in to register, get your room, and get settled in. Well, Kathy was in line. Guy and I walk in together, and we have a casual conversation with her. "How you been? What's new? Glad you're here." And then she gets up to the register and goes through and starts filling out all of her paperwork. Then the registrant asks, he says, "How many keys would you like?" And Kathy says, "Keys? Well, it's just me. I want one." Guy, without hesitating, said, "Give her 2. She might get lucky." And from that day forward, Kathy has always been known to us lovingly as 2 keys.
2 keys.
2 keys.
2 keys, Kathy.
That was Guy at his never thinking, just blurting it right out, and that's Guy. There you go.
There you go. So anyway, how long have you been retired now, Vin?
I'm going on 9-10 years.
Is that right?
Yeah, 10 years.
And so tell us what you do in your retired life besides playing golf.
We try to play golf. One funny thing about as you're getting older, it comes up a lot quicker on you, and you have to take care of your body more often. Yeah, I've had my shoulder operated on now for the third time.
Is that right?
So it's something you have to be aware of it. You can't do what you did to do. You know?
Well, I'm getting to that point now.
There you go.
My left shoulder is killing me, so I'm bionic. I have two aftermarket hips.
There you go.
Okay, I went to the orthopedist, and I says, my shoulder hurts. He took an X-ray. He says, you're bone on bone.
There you go.
So I says, I'm contemplating whether to do shoulder surgery, but I think I'll just kind of live with it for now. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But
Well, I did start an LLC when I got out and went to work with Mike Philando, and we took care of many small water systems.
Okay, yeah.
We both had all of our licenses, and for 7 years I did that after I was retired. And I finally said, that's enough. I said, it was a couple of days a week. It was wonderful. Got me out of the house. Mike and I worked well together, but it was time to hang it all up. And fortunately, grandchildren came at the same time as I stopped.
Nice.
So I do have I have Michaela and Jake, and I get to see Michaela just about any time I want. She's not that far away.
How old is she?
She's 2.
Okay.
And Jake is 3. He lives up in Massachusetts. We don't get to see him that much.
Okay.
But it's been wonderful.
Well, that's good.
My wife Kelly, 51 plus years.
God bless her.
I don't know how she did it.
Kelly, you're a saint.
So there you go.
Well, that's great. Now I know, managing water systems. I mean, you remember John Wittenzelner, right?
Oh, absolutely.
John used to do the same thing. He ran a lot of the water systems and go from there.
Yep.
In fact, a lot of the waters. In fact, he used the water system that was out at Payne Boulevard by the Winchester. I think he used to manage that one for years. Now I think Connecticut Water absorbed that one.
Well, yeah. But there was always a place for the little guy.
Oh yeah.
And you just. It was fine. It really was.
Yeah. Well, like I say, the water industry is a close-knit community, and it gets to the point where we all share, and, the thing is, how, going back to the water industry, how have you seen the regulations migrate, or how do we?
Regulations will always be there, and they will always be changing.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of whether you get it going in the right direction or got it going in the wrong direction.
Right.
You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to be there. They're necessary. They need to be there, and you just have to adapt.
Yeah.
You just have to adapt.
Well, as the new, you get into the with the PFAS and lead and copper and all that kind of of course right now PFAS is the big elephant in the room, if you want to.
Well, I was glad to see that fluoride remains part of the water industry. That to me was just was wrong. You can't deny all of the history associated with the fluoride.
Yeah.
So and I was glad to see that the state stood up for that.
Yeah, that
was good.
For sure. But contaminants are evolving. Well, years ago, I mean, you knew the water we tested and so forth, and it was parts per 100. Then it became parts per million. Now it's parts per trillion. So when you're looking that closely, you're bound to find a lot more stuff.
Well, we both started when treatment was chicken wire and a hay bale.
Yeah. There we go.
That was our and then a little disinfectant on the way out.
Sure.
Now you walk inside a water treatment plant, and it's very impressive. It's very impressive.
Well, one of my mantras throughout my career is that I developed the water and people class, which we taught at the Portland High School. But, the labor market, especially in the water industry, with guys that we retired, but we got to start refilling that pipeline.
The good ones have left.
Yeah.
Now we left plenty of holes for people to fill.
Yes.
And hopefully they will.
Yeah. So we're working. I've worked with Wes Winterbottom, and we've done the water boot camps. Him and I are working on an internship program with Eastern Connecticut State University now. So hopefully we can get things. It's basically making kids aware.
Yeah.
Of the industry, and they're good paying jobs.
They're not going away,
and they're steady, and they're it's not something you can outsource. I kept telling all my students, you can't outsource this across the pond. You need boots on the ground to to fix the leaks, to monitor the treatment plants, and so forth. But when you left East Hampton, I mean, how many wells did you have in East Hampton?
Well, you have to be careful because there's a lot of rock wells in East Hampton.
Okay,
and that's basically what everybody had was the rock well. The Village Center system had 2 wells. Royal Oaks had 3 wells, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
But rock wells are very limited. After 10 gallons a minute, iron starts showing up abundantly in East Hampton. It's just been a bane of theirs.
Yeah.
So a centralized system seems to be on the books, but it's been on the books for 30 plus years.
Yeah. Well, we just found some real good water.
Portland did.
Yeah. So we're like, probably a safe yield of upwards of 2 million gallons
nice.
a minute. So
nice.
I think, if we can get that happening, I think maybe we can start making some inroads and getting it out on 66 and getting water to East Hampton.
No, that would be nice.
To go from there. But, the Oakham Dock well, it's never utilized any of that.
No,
right?
there's been 2 wells down there that basically now need to be re-drilled.
Yeah.
If you're going to use them. So they're probably coming up on 20-something years old now.
Yeah. Well, St. Clements has been plagued with, water issues for years. They drilled one right out in the front yard there, and it didn't.
They don't work.
Not well.
No.
Not well. To go from there. So anyway, what do you got planned for the future?
Staying healthy, playing golf, and keeping my friends in mind.
There you go. I think one of the things that. We got to get. I reached out to Wes Winterbottom and so forth, and I know Wes was instrumental in working with Guy, because Guy taught many courses down at Gateway. For him.
Yeah, he did.
And Wes always spoke highly of him. So we're going to have to get Wes in here and talk about it. Go from there. But that's great. But it's an issue.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right.
Anyway, Vinny, thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you, Dave.
And taking time to, out of your busy golf schedule.
It wasn't too busy to remember friends, and Guy's one of them.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely. And his family is absolutely,
they were tremendous through all of this.
Yes. Yeah. Pat is, she's, but they've got a strong family, both their daughters and daughter-in-laws.
Gabriel.
They can take care of her. She's going to be okay. But it's grieving time, and it's part of life.
Yeah.
We go from there. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this episode of the careers in the water industry and the careers you didn't know about, and the future of the water and wastewater industry. And this is a memorial podcast honoring the great Guy Russo, who was the water and sewer director for the city of Middletown, who just passed this week. So, Guy, you're in our prayers, and Pat, you're in our prayers. So until the next time, that is all.